Thank you all for coming out here this morning. It has been a very long night here in Spokane County. I'm Sheriff John Knowles. We are here holding this press conference to talk to the public about the status of the fires here in Spokane County, and in particular, the Grays Road fire. I'm going to turn the time over now to Chief Cody Rohrback from Fire District 3, who's going to talk about the condition of the fire right now.
Yeah, so as you know, Gray Road fire started yesterday, just afternoon, around 12:24. Southwest of the city of Medical Lake, approximately 3 miles. Initial attack resources arrived on scene to a fast-moving wildfire in wheat stubble on a steep side hill. Fire spread rapidly with the extreme weather conditions, really strong wind gusts, single-digit relative humidities, so just very challenging conditions yesterday, and of course the hot temps. So fire spread rapidly to the northeast towards the city of Medical Lake, as well as the DSHS, Department of Social Health Services campus, and then fire continued to spread right into the community of Medical Lake. Fire ultimately made a almost 7-mile run to the east, coming up directly to the community of Four Lakes on the far eastern side. Conditions remained extremely active overnight with very low relative humidities, strong winds, and extreme fire behavior. We had hundreds of resources engaged from across the county, multiple agencies, law enforcement, Department of Natural Resources, fire districts from across the entire county represented here yesterday. And amongst that initial attack effort, we also had state mobilization approved, so incoming resources from across the state. But hundreds of firefighters out there overnight engaged in a very active firefight. Their priority has really been life safety, ensuring that we get our community out, and then trying to do point protection around the homes. Of course, a lot of homes that are within the fire perimeter. Fire is currently estimated at 8,000 plus acres. We'll have a more accurate mapping hopefully later today. But as you can imagine, given the location of the fire, a lot of structures within the perimeter. We have just some preliminary counts this morning from our division that's up in the Medical Lake area. They're reporting 185 structures lost at this time, so significant structure loss. But I would also add that the firefighters, in coordination with law enforcement, have also saved many structures and got a lot of community members out as well. So they continue to work really hard. But challenging conditions overnight. Fire turned and then pushed to the southwest overnight with a pretty good wind shift, and pushed across Interstate 90. Fire is now established south of Interstate 90 along the Salnave Road. Very active this morning. A lot of firefighters down in that area, trying to provide point protection around the homes and construct control lines. Any questions?
Just with today's weather, what is that going to look like when fighting this fire? Are there any challenges that you're concerned about?
Yes, there's some challenges. There's also some good news. So with the predicted winds out of the northeast today, that helps secure the northern perimeter. We had, of course, all the values associated east of Four Lakes, east of the community of Medical Lake, with more favorable winds pushing the fire back to the southwest. It helps on that end. So particularly the communities of Medical Lake, West Medical Lake, Four Lakes Road, it's going to help firefighters to secure those lines. There's still a lot of work in there. There's still a lot of hot spots, some active burning interior. They're going to try and secure those lines. So that's the good news. The challenging news is on the opposite side of the fire, on the southwest, down near the interstate section of Interstate 90, Salnave Road. Fire's very active on both sides of Interstate 90, going up towards the south end of Clear Lake to the north of I-90, and then pushing all the way along Salnave Road from Interstate 90 back to the east, all the way back to Granite Lake Road.
So the big thing that we're getting a lot of questions from people about, and I know this is a hard one, but specifically the Eastern State Hospital area, and there was a nursing home or an elderly facility that had some people in it. Do you know anything about the evacuations that took place there? Was National Guard able to get to, I believe it was the Lakeland Village home?
So we have Lakeland Village is protected, as well as Pine Lodge, Eastern State Hospital, and that was coordinated well. We actually ran a simulation for an event similar to this the day prior to the event, so we were thankful that was rehearsed prior to the event. It happened to be well timed, so good coordination. They had their IMT members out on the ground coordinating with our folks, and so we can certainly attribute the positive outcome there to good collaboration and coordination.
Congresswoman, if we could bring you up.
We're going to go. So a couple things that I'd like to talk about very quickly. We still have level 3 evacuation areas several places throughout the county. What we are asking citizens to do today is, now that the sun's up and people want to get back in their homes, please continue to respect those level 3 evacuation areas. As Chief Warbach talked about earlier, there are still active fires burning in those areas. We have people trying to come into those areas. When people come in and put themselves at risk, we have to shift our focus from clearing areas, making it safe for the firefighters to go in and do their job, and removing citizens. We then have to shift our focus to addressing people inside those areas. We've seen reports of citizens bragging that they're able to get beyond scene and security lines to come in and check on their loved ones or their animals or the status of their homes. I ask, please don't do that. It makes our job that much harder. We will let people know when it's safe to come back into their homes. City of Medical Lake, there's not power in many places, and we know that we're asking them to boil water. It's not a great place to be right now. It's not a safe place to be. There's been a lot of devastation in those areas. We will let people know when it's safe to come back in. So please, not just here west, but in the North County fire as well, we need citizens to please make our job easier. The men and women of the fire service, the men and women of the police department, the sheriff's department from all across the county have been working very hard, very diligently. Our resources are stretched. We need the public's assistance in making our job easier. I have to thank the men and women of the fire service. They've been amazing. The men and women of law enforcement, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, Medical Lake, city administrators, the City of Cheney Police Department, Airway Heights Police Department, Spokane Police Department, Spokane Fire Department. They have been fantastic. And the men and women are doing exactly what they're trained to do. So we're just asking for the public's cooperation in helping us maintain a safe place. For people who might be worried about the condition of their homes, we have patrols going on in the evacuated areas to make sure that no other crimes are being committed. So make sure we are doing everything we can to keep those areas secure and to keep people's belongings safe. Let's not add us having to keep people's lives safe unnecessarily. So that's a request from me. I will turn the time over here to Commissioner Cuney really quick. I have asked the Board of County Commissioners to declare a state of emergency here in Spokane County, and I'll have her speak to that.
So I'm Mary Cuney, Board Chair for County Commissioners. I also have Commissioner French. This is his district, who's been here, tirelessly. So we will be at noon declaring a state of emergency here in Spokane County. So that way, then it will allow us to those opportunities for other resources to be coming into the county to help. And I just want to say thank you to law enforcement and to the fire departments, the first responders. They are crucial. They are getting stretched thin, as we all know. And so just thoughts and prayers are with all of you and our community right now.
Right. This has just been a tremendous response in coordination. Just really grateful to everyone, both within the city of Medical Lake, the county, led by Sheriff Knowles, and all the first responders, the firefighters that were on the scene to this terrible fire. And it's one where there's tremendous leadership right now with Spokane County declaring the state of emergency, and then the state will do their role. And as the representative for this district, I'm here to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to help from a federal perspective. The time will come when we will be seeking that support also.
I was going to ask you that, so I know you're really familiar. You were crucial in getting the Malden Act over the finish line. Obviously, we're not anywhere near that being needed to be implemented right now. But does this, from your perspective federally, make you go, I need to push the White House for funding?
Well, absolutely. There's going to be a role for the federal government in helping support and provide the resources necessary to those that have been impacted in the rebuild. Right now, though, we have to keep our focus on actually fighting the fire and taking the appropriate steps, doing the assessments, and the state of emergency that Spokane County will be declaring is an important part of that, as well as the state, and then the federal government will come in with more resources.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
Commissioner French, I don't know if you want to speak, but one thing I forgot to add. There are going to be folks outside of these areas and people who have left who are going to wonder about the status of people that they can't get a hold of, people that maybe lived inside the burned area. What we are asking folks to do is, if you are aware of somebody who lived there in the area of this fire who you can't get a hold of, we're asking that you call Crime Check, make a missing persons report, and that is the most effective and most efficient way for us to get those people who we need to be aware may be still in the area and get resources to trying to locate them. So that is something that's very critical, very important. Call Crime Check, make those reports. Thank you.
So this is one of those events where the community really has to demonstrate a love for each other and come together. There are a lot of folks that are going to be displaced out of their homes or have other challenges created by this event, and so take care of your neighbor. You know, if you can volunteer at the Red Cross or any of the other through your church, this is the time to step forward. Let's show Spokane that we love each other and we'll take care of each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Do you guys have immediate assistance right now for people who did lose their homes?
So the Department of Emergency Management is working on all the logistics going forward right now. We have places for them to be through the Red Cross at the Spokane Falls Community College, but we will be bringing those resources to bear over the next couple days through the state and other resources. And I can say I had the opportunity to drive through parts of Medical Lake last night. It is I don't know if incredible is the right word. The devastation that happened inside some of those areas, I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. And so, again, this has been a terrible event. But again, we will recover from it. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of cooperation from not just all of our resources, but from the public as well.
Just my final question, is there an area where people can make donations? I know a lot of people are wanting to bring feed for livestock. Do we have that located?
Correct.
Yet?
All donations, please go through the American Red Cross right now for that. We do have locations for large animals, and we have set up for all of those eventualities, but please, any donations, please, to the Red Cross. Do not take physical donations to command posts or things like that. It's best sent through the Red Cross right now.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Any other questions?
Did we already ask about homes lost in the elementary school at all?
We did. So
I'll just get you in front of my camera.
elementary school still standing at this time, but in that general vicinity, so around the south side of Medical Lake, initial count is 185 structures left.
185 structures. And then as well, where has the Great Fire spread to? People are wondering, has it affected my home? Is there a map at all we can get?
Yeah, we'll have some maps on our media site, and we'll make sure to get those posted. But approximately 3.1 miles southwest of the city of Medical Lake was the point of origin, and fire spread almost 7 miles to the east from that location to the community of Fort Lakes.
And then do we know how many homes are still threatened at all?
There's going to be close to, it's going to be in the hundreds.
You said hundreds of homes still threatened.
And for evacuees who are still wondering if they can get more belongings at home, could they get past the fire line at all? Or
So we recommend, if they're in the level 3 evacuation zones, to not enter those zones. They're still quite hazardous, and we've got active fire suppression activities going on and a lot of large fire apparatus moving quickly on those roads, and it can slow down the effectiveness of our operations, and it can also be an unsafe place for them to be.
and just what the resources with today? Do you still have air support going on today? any different? All the districts are still out there.
Yes, so we do have a Type 3 incident management team that is in place. They transitioned at 0800 this morning, so what that means is we brought in a lot of additional resources from across the state to help relieve our firefighters. That some of them are nearing 24 hours on the line right now, so they've got some folks coming out to help relieve them and give them a break. But we still have firefighters that were on, yesterday around 12 o'clock when the fire started. They've been fighting fire since.
We just wanted to confirm how many actual homes versus structures. So 185 homes, is that correct? Structures. Do we know how many homes exactly?
We don't have an accurate assessment right now. We're actively focused on fire suppression and evacuation. So this was a preliminary assessment, but I will say that we anticipate that number to increase as we do more assessments on fire.
Chief, just one. I heard earlier today 9,500 acres. Was that estimate a little high?
So right now what's going on is we don't have really accurate mapping with the growth overnight. Fire is very active, pushing in multiple directions. So we have an approximate acreage that we believe the fire is in excess of 8,000, but it would not surprise me if it was up closer to 10,000. But we're working on getting some more accurate mapping, and when we get that, we'll certainly share.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you coming. Thank you. And I would ask you guys to stay safe. We have a lot of reports of media being inside those areas. It's dangerous. I mean, we have people in there doing evacuations, and some of our cars have been damaged because the wind shifted and the fire came back on our deputies. So you guys be careful in there. I don't want to have to put us in a position to come in to rescue you and you guys getting hurt. So be smart about it. Power lines down everywhere. Power lines down everywhere.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. That was the press conference at the Gray Fire with fire officials. We are still working to find out as much information as we can on both the Gray and the Elk fires burning. It's all hands on deck today for KXLY. We do have all our reporters in, and we are sending them to different locations around the county to get the most accurate information that we can. In addition, all day I will be speaking with all of our reporters that are out in the field, and I'll be talking to all of them individually about what they're seeing and the latest information that we can. Be sure to be following us on our social media pages and turn on notifications on the 4 News Now mobile app so you can get the latest breaking news in your community. We will continue to provide updates throughout the day, but for now, live in studio, I'm Rob King for 4 News Now.